Recording in progress. All right. So, good morning, everybody. All right. So we're going to work with the legs today, and you'll definitely, if you have it. I mean, it's not 100% that you need it, but if you have a strap, just put a little loop in it. That loop will eventually go like kind of around your foot. So go ahead and take care of that now, just in case. And then a couple of blocks are always wonderful because they just make everything a little bit better, a little bit easier. So once you've got all that set up, just find a really comfortable way to sit. And I know I say it every class, but if your knees hurt when they're bent like this, you all know, you've all been with me long enough to straighten the legs. You can bring them out, you can keep them straight. So whatever feels good for you. And then maybe move the flesh out from the sit bones and snuggle down into your mat and take the shoulders up to your ears and then squeeze them back and then let them come down. Good. One more time. Take them up. Exhale as you let them come back and let them just sit, as my friend Susie says, let them sit in the pockets, right? Let them sit where they feel like they just drop into this groove so that the chest is nice and open, the back is slightly engaged. And then maybe close your eyes. And as you close your eyes and start to move into your class, right? So you start to let go of all the external distractions. You truly come to the center of your mat and the center of your body. Maybe as you breathe in and out, you feel the alignment of your spine, right? You feel where the crown of the head is. And then you notice the spine that moves from the base of your skull down your back all the way to the tailbone. And how does it feel for you? Because ideally, we're going to try to get into this comfortable position where everything lines up and you're not straining to sit, right? To sit up. So just kind of notice, do you tend to really round the upper back so that your chest has dropped down? Do you tend to overarch your back or round your lower back, right? Where is it for you? So we don't want to be too tense either way. We don't want to overly pull back. We don't want to overly round. We just want to find the happy spot, right? The middle way, as they say. And then breathe into that. Breathe into that middle way where it's not too hard and it's not too soft. Maybe you take in the sounds around you as part of your class, right? As part of your experience, not as a distraction. And then you start to take the breath in deeper and you start to let it out longer, right? So that you feel like you are exhausting all of the air from the lungs. Start to feel a bigger chest rise, feel the ribs start to expand out to the side body. And as you exhale, keep the chest from dropping, but let all that air go. Good. 3 more, just like that. Relax your jaw. Good. One more deep breath right here. And then allow your eyes to open up and start to roll your shoulders. So even though, we always say, okay, I'm going to work with the quads or the hamstrings today, but we're going to work the whole body. We're going to get everything loosened up. Good. One more big circle. And then take your hands to your shoulders and circle those elbows as if you had two pads of paper on either side of those elbows and you're making big circles with them. Oh, yeah. Feeling that chest just a little bit. Breathe and then take the elbows out to the sides and just press them back. Squeeze that back body and then squeeze the elbows toward each other. They may touch, they may not. Squeeze them back, engage back body, squeeze them forward. Good. Two more. Squeeze out and forward. Make sure you're not bringing your chin forward, your head forward. Good. Last one. Squeeze and then open and then release the arms all the way out. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, right to your heart. Interlace the hands, press them out. Take the arms up. If this hurts your shoulders, just separate those hands and then reach over to the left. Again, I've been working on mirroring again now that I'm so used to Zoom. So you'll see me going opposite what I actually say and take it center, go to the right. You also know I'll probably mess up at least once and center. Good. Go to the left again. This time I want you to turn toward your left leg, circle yourself around, take it up. Whew, good. Two more that direction. Turn, like physically turn. So you get that twist and then circle and up. Good. Last one here. Twist and reach. Take it up. We got to do it on the other side. So turn toward that right knee and circle. Oh, doesn't that feel good? Twist and circle. Oh, yeah. And last one and circle it. Good. Release those hands. Take them out. Curl your fingers, curl your wrists. Just hold the wrists, arms straight as you can. And then do Popeye arms, squeeze them in. See if you can touch your knuckles all the way to your shoulders. So the wrist curled is really important. We're stretching all those back tendons and release, but keep the circle or keep the curl. Woo. And then release, open them up and let them go. Good. Roll that out, everybody. And then let's take those legs. Well, let's just take one leg straight to start. So straighten out your right leg and take it out to the side a little bit. You may or may not want your strap here, right? If you know hamstrings are super tight on you, maybe you start with that loop around your foot just to help you, but you don't need it. So, you know how I am. I don't like you to reach until, if you're not warmed up. Your other leg, the foot's toward the inner thigh, but again, knee issues, right? We take that leg anywhere we need to. Inhale, reach up. You're going to swan dive forward. Now, press down through your sit bones, right? Open up your chest, tone the belly, keep that chest lifted, and then just take your hands forward. Draw the shoulders wide. Right? We work on this posture all the time. We work on getting that rounding out of that upper back. We are going to resist gravity. Resist. So I'm slightly pulling my fingertips back while I'm bringing my chest forward. And for me, right away, feeling this inner thigh stretch, right? So I'm just going to be mindful of that. It's early in class. We're going to get nice and warmed up. Take a deep breath. Draw the shoulders wide. Keep the chest moving forward, not the head. And then take the torso up. Inhale, reach up. Turn toward your right leg. Here's where you may or may not want your strap. Do another swan dive for me. But you're looking at that foot. You're kind of contemplating it and you're dragging that right hip back isometrically. And then let the hands come down again. Pull the shoulders wide. Isometrically pull the fingers back. And just check it out on this side. How's that feeling? How's it different from when your body is centered? Right? For me here, it's a little more of a hamstring stretch, a little less of a inner thigh stretch, but for you, it might be completely different. If you can, resist the urge to round, right? Instead, think of that chest bone moving toward the foot. Take some nice deep breaths right here. If you have your strap, you can hold the strap. You don't have to be low. You can be way up high here. Just trust your body. Good. Slide yourself up. Inhale, take it up. Last one here. You're going to take that inside right hand or that right hand to the inside of your leg or your palm up and your elbow heads toward the floor. Big stretch for side body. An option here I didn't give is you could have your elbow on a block. You can even have your elbow on your leg. That's kind of a nice middle ground for a lot of us, right? Just breathe and take it all the way up. Exhale it all the way down. Good. Let's go right to the other side. So bring your right leg in, take the left leg out wide. Find those sit bones again, right? Snuggle in. Inhale, take the arms up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Just pause for a second. I always pause, like I'm not in a hurry to drop down because I want to stay as wide as I can and then make sure I'm kind of grounded in the sit bones. Once you're there, take the fingertips to the floor, roll the shoulders back, feel the back body engage just a little bit. Don't over squeeze. And then isometrically drag the fingers back. Now, again, I didn't mention it on the other side, but that long leg, it's active, right? So you feel the muscles working. If you have knee pain, you're bending that knee or putting something under it. And just check it out on this side. Where do you feel it? What's happening? Can you breathe? Try not to overreach with the head. That's another one, right? We think if the head's closer to the floor, we're doing more. Just breathe, everybody. And take it up. Inhale, reach the arms. Twist everything toward the left leg. Look at your left leg. Go, oh, what a nice left leg. And then swan dive forward. Just pause for a second and then let the hands come down. Do that again. As soon as you go to that side, I want you to kind of draw that femur, right? That thigh bone right back into the hip socket. Breathe. How's it feeling on this side? My right leg's always tighter than my left, so I feel this side a lot more than the left. Always interesting to me. Big deep breath. Nice. Release that. Inhale, reach up. This time the left arm goes inside. You can be palm down, palm up. Stretch the whole right side. Don't go too deep. This is a biggie. Oh, yeah. Notice where you have your head, your neck, right? Does it feel strained? Can you breathe here? Always a good indicator. And inhale, reach up, take both arms up. Exhale it down. Take both legs straight. Ah. And just notice if you see how it feels to have both legs straight and to sit upright, right? How does that feel in your body? Can you flex your feet? Can you maybe even lift the heels off the floor a little bit so your quads, your thighs are getting a whole bunch of work just lifting those heels off the floor? You may not, don't worry about it if you can't, right? If those heels are still touching, just feel that energy, what it's going to take to get that done. Find your breath. And then let the heels relax. By the way, knees hurt, right? You're either bringing the knees up, bending the knees, or you're bringing those legs a lot closer. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, swan dive forward. Check it out. For me, next lifetime, I might get near the floor. This lifetime, not happening. So hands come forward. Same thing. Open the shoulders first. Draw the head back into alignment. Think of the chest moving forward, not the head. And pause. Some of you can go all the way down to the floor. Go for it if that feels good to you. Some of you are sitting straight up and that's your stretch. So wherever you are, it's okay. Over here, we got this gorgeous little breeze happening. It's going to keep us nice and cool, I think. Breathe, everybody. Think about where you're moving from, right? Even for me, there's this tendency or this desire to go, oh, I can go lower. So I'm going to put my head down to the floor. But that doesn't add to my stretch. All that does is add to this possible strain in the low back. So, yeah. All right, take it up, everybody. Woo. Good. Bend your knees. Just a little release here. Take the soles of the feet together. And Baddha Konasana is like, oh, that feels better. Woo. Good. We're not going to stay here too long. And take the knees up. All right. So your strap is just off to the side. You're not going to need it for now. Let's come right to table pose. If you're on a really hard surface, I would suggest you put a blanket under your knees. We're going to be here just for a little bit. So no sense straining those knees. And then find table pose. Your wrists under your shoulders, your knees under your hips, and round your back up toward the ceiling. Tuck your chin down, right? A little bit of cat pose here, and just hold it for a moment. And see how that feels for you. Just stretching out the whole back body. And then slowly from your tailbone, I want you to start to lift your tailbone. Let the lower back sink down a little bit. Let the chest go toward the floor. Start to lift the head, lift the neck, moving into cow pose. And just hold. So we do these, normally we do these back and forth. We don't even think about it. But how does it feel in your body, right? If you're in cow and your low back is achy, lessen it up a little bit. Go a little bit more neutral. If you go into cat and everybody move into cat pose, and this just feels like nirvana, it might give you an indication that you're doing too much rounding in normal daily life, right? All right, one more. Just slow, slow. Move from your tailbone, lower the belly, start to lift chest, head, neck. Breathe. And then find that middle way again. Squeeze the belly in, neutralize your back. Flip your toes under. Feel those toes stretch a little bit and lift your knees a couple inches off the floor. All right, here's the work, right? Squeeze the imaginary beach ball between your elbows. Keep the shoulders wide, keep the hands pressing in. Keep the knees deeply bent and start to move your chest toward your legs. So now your arms are more diagonal, right? They're reaching back a little bit. Your knees are still really bent. Your belly is toned. You're not dipping into your lower back. Just feel all that. Straighten just your left leg. Your heel might come to the floor, it might not. Hold. If you need a break, come on down. Bend that knee and straighten the other. Whew. Calf muscles. Big deep breath. Bend both knees. Reverse what you just did. Start to hover back over your wrists. Lower the knees until they're an inch or two off the floor. Feel your core work. And then lower your knees to the floor. And drop the hips back just for a second, just to take that pressure off your heels or off your wrists. All right, so from child's pose, you're going to round your back and come back up. You're going to release it to cow pose, right? Take the head up, take the tailbone up. Come to neutral, squeeze the belly in. Your toes are flipped under, your knees come off the floor just an inch. By the way, I know a couple of you've got some wrist stuff, so you're coming back a little further right away just to take that pressure off. Or you can try coming to elbows. Breathe, breathe, breathe. Start to bring your chest toward your legs, but keep the knees way bent. Working these legs, right, ladies and gents? Straighten just your left leg. Whoo, any amount. It doesn't have to go completely straight. Bend that knee, switch sides. Bend both knees. Hover back over your shoulder to wrist. Lower the knees close to the floor. Back is neutral. Squeeze that belly. Lower the knees. Release your toes. Maybe sit back in child's pose just for a second. If you're feeling your wrists already, turn the palms face up and just curl your wrists a little bit. All right, we got one more of these, everybody. So hands plant down, squeeze the belly, round your back up. So here we are back in cat. Slowly release to cow. Come to a neutral spine, squeeze the belly, toes flip under, lift your knees. Now, listen up. You know what that means, that listen up cue. 1, you're here. 2, the knees are back on the floor until we're done with this part. Or 3, lift your left foot off the floor. Don't lift the hips, just lift the foot. Good. Release that to the floor. Lift your right foot off the floor. Try not to lift your hips. Woo! Lower that foot to the floor. Bring your chest toward your thighs. Knees are deep. Straighten just your left leg. Oh, yeah. Hamstrings. Bend. Straighten the right leg. That should feel pretty good. Starting to wake up a little bit. Bend both knees. Listen up. I want you to press out of those hands. Straighten both legs. Downward facing dog. You can take the feet a little bit wider. That's going to give you a little bit more room. Breathe. Maybe shake those hips side to side. And then inhale to your tippy toes. Lower your knees to the floor. Whew. Take your left leg, step forward, and grab your blocks. If you don't have blocks, don't worry about it. You can have your hands on the floor just right here. We're not going to stay down for long. And then draw your hips toward the floor, but keep a really active right glute, that back leg's glute. Keep it nice and active. And then see if you can just lift that chest up and notice. Good. Take your hands to your knee. Notice you didn't have to move right from blocks to knee. You just move those hands. Push off that knee and lift your chest. Take the arms up. Breathe. Exhale your hands to your blocks. And then think a little bit like cat and cow. So even in this position, I want you to squeeze your belly in and round down toward your knee. And then release into a nice little cow. Open up the spine. Exhale, squeeze it in. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And open up, release. Good. Last one. Curl it in, curl it in, curl it in. And then release it. And simply just step your left leg back, step your right leg forward. Here we are on the other side. Your hands are on your blocks. Your chest is lifted. Your shoulders are nice and wide. Remember all that. Squeeze your belly, engage that back glute. Take your hands to your knee. Press off the knee and lift your chest. Take the arms up. And when you take the arms up, how does that feel in your shoulders? Are you real scrunchy? If you are, try to draw the shoulder blades back down your back or take the arms wider. Notice how that changes that just a little bit. Nice. Take those hands back and do your little cat. Squeeze in and release out. Good. Exhale as you squeeze in and lift out. Last one. Squeeze from your belly, curl it in and release. Breathe. Take that leg back. You're on both knees. Move the blocks out of the way for a second. Come to downward facing dog. Notice how those legs are starting to open up a little bit. Shake, shake, shake. And then walk your hands very much on purpose all the way back to your feet. Bend the knees as much as you need to. Take your hands to your knees and lift all the way up. Inhale, take it up. On the exhale, take it all the way down. Walk your hands forward until you come to downward facing dog. Pause here, just get your alignment. Feel that nice juicy pose. Everything's starting to open up this morning. Come to plank pose. Everybody knows by now, I hope, knees down is an option. Knees up is an option. Child's pose is an option, right? Squeeze the imaginary beach ball, but keep the chest wide, keep the shoulders wide. Squeeze that belly. Take it back to downward facing dog. Breathe. Walk your hands back. This is all on purpose, doing bone building and muscle building strength for the upper body. Bend your knees, hands to knees, neutral spine, no rounding. Take it up. Exhale, float it down. One more, walk it forward. Working with the shoulders. Downward facing dog. Breathe. Plank pose. Here we are. Right? What are you doing with your head in plank? Are you looking up? That feels like crap. Are you looking down too much? Right? Try to just look at your mat with your eyes and keep the neck neutral. Squeeze the beach ball, widen the shoulders. Find your breath. You got this. Woo! Good. Down dog, everybody. Well done. Find your breath. Lower your knees to the floor. You're going to want your blocks again, so put those back to the front of your mat and step forward with your left leg. And you can have your blocks up nice and high. So when you're on this back knee, you want to make sure you're not hurting the knee or sitting right on top of that kneecap. So try to get the weight of that back leg toward the top of your kneecap, and then see if you can bend your back knee. Hold if you can. If you cramp, you can let go. Little bit of tone to the belly just to support your back, and then let go of that leg. Good. One more squeeze. So what are we doing here, right? One, we're contracting the hamstring. Two, we're stretching the quadricep, right? The thigh muscle. So breathe. Try pointing your toes. Whoo, that changes everything. Flex your foot. Lower that leg. Last one here. And you're bending to your level. So bend the knee. Point the toes. Breathe. One, you stay here. Or two, your right hand stays on the block. Your left arm goes forward. You reach it up and hold. So here's your twist. Yep, feel the stretch at the front of your right leg. Some of you are going to be able to reach the arm back. Woo! Some of you are going to be able to find your foot. If you don't find your foot, do not worry. Don't reach. Don't lose your pose. Find your breath, stretching that quadricep muscle. Nice. Come out the way you came in. See if you can keep that knee bend. Stretch the arm. Take it up. Release it to your block. And now let go. Good. Squeeze back like you're doing a little cow or a little cat. And then switch sides. Bring your left leg back. Bring your right leg forward. Pause. Once again, find the upper end of that kneecap or the very beginning of your thigh muscles. Because if you're smack on that knee, that's going to just feel yucky. And just breathe. All right, here we go. See if you can bend. Hold, just squeeze that hamstring. Hamstrings are notorious for cramping. So if you cramp, either hold the cramp because it'll go away, or let it go because you're just not into that kind of torture. All right, and let go. Here we go again. Bend the knee. Point the toes. Woo! One side a little tighter than the other. Big deep breath. Flex your foot and let go. All right, here's the third one. Bend the knee. Point your toes. One, you're here. Two, you're going to leave your left hand on the block. You're going to reach your right arm forward. Take it up to the ceiling and just pause, right? So there's a nice little twist right there. Then reach the arm back behind you, but don't reach for the foot just yet. Three, if that foot's available, bring it in. If it isn't, do not worry. Don't worry, be happy. Woo! Can I have the choir in the back? Woo! There we go. Good, breathe. All right, so come out the way you came in. If you've got your foot, let it go. Take the arm up. Woo! Reach it forward. Hand to block. And then let go of that baby. All right, come into a little bit of a cat pose. Slide your right leg back. Lower your blocks to second level or lower. Just let your hands rest on it and stretch back. Big deep breath. Nice. Press up. Okay, so final one here. Just move your blocks out of the way. If your blanket's there, leave it. Come on down to your bellies. That feels good already. Come on down. I'm going to keep my head lifted just from a talking standpoint, but you can lower your head so it's more neutral. Now press your hip bones into your blanket or your mat and press your pubic bone down. Bend your right leg and just squeeze it in and then straighten it. Good. Couple more. Bend it in. And you're bending to your level, right? Some of us are very flexible here. Some of us have some knee issues. You're not going to bend that much. You're all still going to feel that same stretch. And again, make sure you're pressing your pubic bone down. Squeeze in and hold. Point your toes. See if you can lift your knee any amount off the floor. Breathe. Keep the hips down, right? So the tendency is going to be to try to lift off that hip bone. Don't do it. Press the knee down, flex your foot, squeeze that in. Some of you are going to stay here. Some of you are going to release the right hand. Reach it back. One more. See if you can find your foot. If you can, great. If you can't, don't worry about it. Squeeze it in. Press down through the hips. In fact, press down through the quad, right? The front of your leg. Press that down. Now tell me you don't feel stretch. Breathe. Roll the right shoulder up and back. Release the foot. Release the hand to the floor. Release the leg. All right, press down through the hip bones, press down through the pubic bone. What does that do, right? Not only does it ground you, but it keeps the lower back long so that when we're stretching the front legs, you don't just arch into your low back. So press down, bend your knee, squeeze it in, and just hold. And release, let go. Good. One more. Squeeze it in. Maybe you're pointing your toes. Maybe you see if you can lift that leg off the floor, that knee off the floor. Breathe. Lower it down. Either stay here or take the left hand, reach it back. Grab the foot. Shoulder is lifted. The elbow is pressing back for some of you. Try not to splay the knees out. Keep them pressing straight down from your hip. Smile. Quads are always tough to stretch. All right, you're going to leave that leg there. Release your hand. Oh! And release that leg. Is she crazy or what? All right, press down through your pubic bone. Come on up to your elbows. Find your breath. Little Sphinx pose, little baby back bend. And then here's where it can get a little tricky. Watch your low backs here. I want you to press down into your knees. Push your knees into the floor. Think about cat pose. I want you to squeeze in and see if you can lift your belly off the floor. You're not going high. If you go high, you're going to lose the purpose of this pose, which is your core, your belly. So squeeze it in. Your head can be looking down. Your head can even be a little bit dropped down here. Woo, feel it, feel it, feel it. And then release back to Sphinx pose. On your exhale, tuck in low belly, mid belly, upper belly. Move those ribs way back into your back body. Hold. You got it. You got it. Lower down slowly. And last one here. I always like threes. Squeeze in the low belly, mid belly, upper belly. Lift off that floor a little bit. Sing a happy song. Breathe. And release. Nice job, everybody. Little bit of Sphinx. Lower your upper body down. Press up to plank. To downward facing dog. Oh, that feels good now. Walk your hands back to your feet. Open up those shoulders. Bend the knees as much as you need to. And then take your hands to your knees and come all the way up. Nice job, everybody. Let's take, if you've got a blanket on your mat, maybe just set it aside just so it's not a trip hazard. You can leave it there and step over it, but sometimes it can get a little bit under your feet. And then take your blocks to the front of your mat. Maybe I'll turn around. You'll see my other side. All right, so you're at the front of your mat, roll your shoulders, inhale, reach up. On the exhale, just take your hands to your blocks and pause and notice where you put the weight of your body. A lot of times when we come to a forward fold, we sit back in the heels and then the hips drop up behind the ankles, all that stuff. So see if you can find center. Bend the elbows as much as you need to get your forward fold and feel the hamstrings kind of reach up and lift up behind you. From here, bend both knees, but just step back with your left leg. And then drop the back heel just a little bit to the inside. So you're not turning it sideways. You're just dropping it in a little bit so that your toes are pointing more forward than sideways. Somebody told me it was a 45-degree angle. And I did not like angles in school. So just turn your toes out. Your hands are on your blocks. Move the blocks back towards shoulders if you need to. And then begin to straighten your front leg. So pyramid pose. Long explanation for pyramid pose. So we're drawing that outer right hip back. We're deepening the crease of the hip. We're not rounding. That's why our hands are way up high on the blocks. We're drawing the shoulders back, the crown of the head forward. Maybe lift all your front toes off the floor and just see if you can really activate that arch, that inner arch. Once you've got that, you can lower the toes back down, feel your hamstrings, start to lower the chest toward the leg. You can lower the blocks. Again, I know some of you are nice and wide open here. Some of you are going to just remove the blocks and take your hands to the floor. Pyramid pose. Now, did you forget all about your back leg? I bet you did. I want you to push into your back leg. Push into your back leg. Squeeze the upper inner thighs just ever so slightly to the center, as if you could scissor those legs. Notice the changes in what's happening to your front leg. Come to the tippy toes of your back leg. You're going to weight the front leg more and then drop the heel back down. Good. Maybe you grab your blocks again, put your hands back on the blocks, start to transition out. Take the blocks higher, lengthen through your chest, level out your hips, bend your front knee, and just simply step forward. Here we are, nice forward fold. And when you're ready, step back, same thing. So you're stepping back with your right leg. And when you step back, just see if you can drop the heel in a little bit. And actually, there might be someone out there that really that dropping that heel in doesn't work. If that's the case, just keep it straight, keep it more neutral. And then roll that front hip back. Feel as if you could pull your torso out from that hip, like it's this long torso, while that hip stays back and stationary and even. They used to teach that in pyramid pose, your hips are so level that you could put a cup of tea on the hips and it wouldn't spill. We won't go that crazy, but you get the idea here. Maybe lift your front toes, really ground the ball mound of your front foot, lift that arch, lengthen your torso. I don't think of lengthening down first. I think of lengthening forward first. And then press into your back leg. Maybe you lower the chest, maybe not. Maybe you lower your blocks, just one. And see how that feels on the hamstring of the front leg. Keep the back leg engaged. Just press in every so often. Think about that back foot. Maybe you move the blocks out of the way altogether and come to your fingertips. Just notice your desire or your tendency to drop the head toward the knee as if that was going to change your pose. Especially when we're goal oriented, right? We think that's, or maybe we used to do that, now we can still do it, but Think about the length instead. Yeah. All right. Hands come back to your blocks. Take the blocks on the highest level. Let that leg start to soften. Bend your front knee and step forward. Whew. Bend both knees and inhale, reach up. Exhale, let it go. Feel the backs of your legs, right? All right, so here we go. Blocks are to the front of your mat. Inhale, take it up. Exhale all the way down. Soften both knees, step back with your left leg. Choices here, your back leg is up or down, your knee is up or down. If it's down and you want your blanket, just slide it back over. Take your hands to your blocks, probably second level here, second height, so they're not as wobbly. And then straighten your front leg any amount. And then bend your knee, and as you bend the front knee, try to lift the chest. Again, hamstrings and quadriceps, straighten and bend. Your back knee can be up or down, straighten and bend. When you bend, lift the chest. When you straighten, you can bring the chest toward the leg. Last one, bend and straighten. Think of all that lubrication. And then bend your leg, hold right here. Scissor the inner thigh, squeeze your belly. Back knees up or down. Hands come to your knee. Press up. We're just coming to a high lunge. Inhale, reach up. Find your breath. Woo, right? Press into your back leg. Press into your back foot. Breathe. Don't let your front knee roll to the middle. You know who you are. I can just see you right now. Breathe, breathe. Slowly, hands to the blocks. Straighten your front leg as you step back. Be careful on the blocks. And step forward, left leg. Once again, knee up, knee down, your choice. Scissor the inner thighs together so we bring that muscle energy to the center, right? And that helps a lot. Make sure your feet are wide enough. Sometimes when we step forward, step back, we're too narrow and we don't have that good base of support. All right, slowly straighten your front leg. Think about it, right? How's that leg move? Where's the hip to knee to foot line, right? Does it feel pretty straight? And then bend the knee. As you bend, look up. As you straighten, look down. And bend and look up. Exhale, slowly straighten. Good, bend, look up. Good alignment, everybody. Imagine somebody has their hands on both sides of your hips and are pulling both hips back, right? That might give you a little different sense. Good, last one, bend your knee. Find your engagement, hands come to knee. Press your thigh up, or thigh up, press your chest up. Take the arms up. Big deep breath. How's that feeling, right? The legs are getting nice and open. We're really starting to get some strength, some blood flow in the legs. Exhale, hands to the floor. Push off your back leg, step forward. Bend your knees and come on up. Exhale your hands to your heart. And just pause for a sec. Shake everything out. Shake everything out. Roll your wrists. Okay, so we're just going to do a couple more things with the leg strength, and then we're going to move into our balance. So just shake out. All right, so you're back to the front of your mat. We've been doing more flow lately, but when you take that flow slow and you work with your alignment and with your body, it's awesome. Awesome stuff. Inhale, take it up. And you're all going, oh yeah, right. Take your hands to your blocks. Soften your knees and step back with your left leg. So here we are again. You can take, in fact, start with your knee on the floor, but keep it light so that you don't have to worry about irritating your knee. Squeeze your belly, have the chest lifted, but not overly, and take your knee just a couple of inches off the floor. Now, you all know, right? If this is too much, you come on down. For some of you, this doesn't work so well with that back foot. So take the knee down and just wait. And then everybody straighten both legs. So here we are again, variation of pyramid pose. Bend your front knee. Here's where it gets tricky. Bend your back knee. So you're almost doing like a 90-ish, right? Pose. See if you can hold. 1, you're here because it's going to work the heck out of your front hip. 2, hands to knee. 3, chest lifts. The knees, both knees stay bent. You're working a lot more muscle energy here. Inhale, reach up. We're not going to hold forever. Exhale, hands to knee. Lean forward. Hands to blocks. Woo! Straighten both legs. That's fun, right? Bend your front knee, step forward. Bend both knees, inhale, reach up. I always like to get that blood out of out of my head for a second. And exhale, shake it out. Let's do the other side. Take it up. Exhale it forward. Soften the knee, step back right leg. Start with a nice long pyramid pose, a variation here. Front leg straight, back leg straight. Oh, I realized what I forgot. So bend both knees, take one knee to the floor. Because this might be where you stay, right? You might not go into a high lunge. And then flip your toes under. Just see if you can lift the knee a little bit. Squeeze the belly. Keep the chest from dropping to the floor. So either stay here and then lower down, or straighten both legs, pyramid pose. I knew I forgot something. Bend both knees. So it's almost like a runner, you know, getting ready to start. A little different, but almost. You know what I mean. All right, 1, you're here. This is already a lot of work. 2, hands come to your knee. Keep the knees bent as you lift your chest. Woo! Inhale, reach the arms up. This is so much harder than a regular high lunge. Big deep breath, everybody. Press strongly into both feet. Exhale, slow, hands to your blocks. Straighten both legs. Woo! And then push off, step forward. Hallelujah. Good. Bend your knees. Inhale, reach up. And exhale to your heart. And shake it out. I did warn you ahead of time. Shake it out. All right, so here's where that loop that you did so long ago may come into play. And I'll say a little caveat about the strap. For me, the strap throws me off balance. So I tend to not use it. But if you want to use it, you can. You might want to be near a wall where one hand can go to a wall space. So all that to show you. So we're going to start. I'll show you without the strap. We're going to start by just bringing that foot in again, like we've been doing. Some of you can't bend that knee that much, right? It hurts. So if you're that person, you're going to take the loop around your foot and then behind your shoulder. Okay, so you've created a little lever here. Find your still point. Again, maybe the wall's right in front of you. And you're just gonna, if you have the strap, you're just gonna bend and bring it up to where you can for your knee and take the other arm up. If you're not using a strap, you're gonna hold that foot again. If you've got the foot, the shoulders back, the chest is open, you're not splaying out to the side. You're opening up that front body and breathe. Now feel your knee reach toward the floor. Feel the bent knees glute get active. All right, 1, you're here, strap, no strap. 2, you're gonna come out because you're done. 3, you're gonna bring the knee forward and hold underneath. So challenging our balance here. You're gonna stay here, you're gonna come out because you're done, Or 3, you're either going to straighten the leg here, you're going to grab your shin and straighten there, or you're going to grab your big toe. Woo! Bend the knee. Come back the way you came in. I know. And release. Holy moly. Same thing other side. Now, what I didn't show, and again, this is why I say the strap can really be tricky. So I'll try to do it quickly without falling myself. If you're here and you have the strap, again, I would have a hand on a wall, even if it was me, right? So you'll start here, and then you'll come here, and then you can come here, okay? So it gives you room. The challenge of this pose is most people will straighten the leg, and they're doing this, and they're hanging on for dear life while they're all around it and curled up. Strap is awesome for that. All right, shake it out. Go to your other side. Mountain pose, right? Settle, be calm. Today's a new day. When you're ready, you're going to shift into, for me, it's my left leg. It should be your right leg. Bend your back foot. You're either using your strap or you're not. You're just starting here. Find your focus. The knee presses down to the floor. It stretches that front leg a little bit. Your chest is open. Take the opposite arm up. And come in and out as much as you need to, or that opposite arm is just resting on a wall space, right? All right, from here, slide the leg forward, bring the knee up toward chest. You're just holding underneath your thigh. Again, find stability. When and if you're ready, you're going to straighten the leg any amount. You're going to hold on at any point. Breathe. And then come out the way you came in. Bend the knee. Reach for that foot. And release it. And shake it out, everybody. Feeling those legs. All right, come on up to the front of your mat. I was going to go to dancer, but I don't think so. I think that was plenty. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, take it down. Plant your hands and step back, downward facing dog. Take both feet toward the edges of your mat. Toes are pointing forward. Bend your knees and just reach back with your upper body. So it's kind of almost like you're poking your butt out. Bend the knees, widen through your sit bones. Nice tone to the low belly, by the way, just so you aren't dropping into the low back. And then lower your knees to the floor. And come to a seat. Grab one block. Just because I love you, we're going to get a little bit more core in before we stretch it all out. Just a little. All right, actually grab both blocks because if Deb's still online, I just remembered something. She's a teacher and she did something that I loved. So take both of those blocks in front of you at the highest level. If you're on a super hard surface and you want to cushion that tailbone, you might want to do that. So you're just going to lean back and take one heel to each block. What does this look like? Boat pose, right? Take the arms out, keep the chest lifted, and just lean back a little so that you feel that belly engage. Flex your feet, press the heels into the blocks, and breathe. So I love this variation of boat, and I haven't done this in a while. So thanks, Deb, for reminding me. Take one heel off the block. Woo! Drop it down. Take the other heel off the block. Drop it down. Take your chest forward and take your heels off your block. Lower your blocks to second level. Here we go again. Bring the heels up, press the heels in, lift your torso, make that baby long, lean back a little, whew, find that engagement, take the arms out. If taking the arms out just throws you off, take them to your knees and work on opening up the chest, right? One heel off, oh, take it down, other heel off, take it down, listen up. Take the first heel off, lift the chest, see if you can take the other heel off. Woo, breathe. Heels down, lift your chest, take your feet off your blocks. Either go to your lowest level or set them aside because it's not any easier once you're down at the lower level. I'm taking this a little shorter. If your heels are on blocks, press them in. If your heels are in the floor, press them in. Flex your feet, lift your chest, lean back a little bit. Maybe you're just going to hang out right here, right? So we think about keeping these legs active. So I always think about maybe squeezing a little block energy between the legs, but also keeping them from dropping in. So keep the inner thighs strong. Lift one foot. Maybe lift the other foot. Breathe. Maybe point your toes. Maybe flex. Some of you are going to be able to straighten one or both legs. I'm not going to do that today. My low back isn't thrilled with that idea. Woo! Breathe and lower down. And then just roll forward. Just stretch it out. All right, have a strap near you. Let's get all that stuff stretched out. Come on down to your backs. That's gonna feel good. No doubt about it, right? It's like, oh, thank God. Let me turn myself around here for no particular reason. Oh. All right, so bring your right knee to your chest. Take the leg up. You don't need the strap here. You can use your hands to support your leg. Drop the shoulders to the floor. Point and flex your foot. Point, flex, one more, point and flex, and then big ankle circles. Big circles. Circle the other way. And then a neutral foot, externally rotate that whole leg so the toes are pointing out to the sides. Bend your knee, take your ankle to your left knee and bring your knees toward your chest. So figure four. Play with the idea that you are not completely flattening your lower back. Just play with that idea. For some people it works and for some it doesn't. So I just take a teeny tiny arch in the low back, keep more on the sacrum than the back, and just breathe. Now, one, you're going to stay here. Two, I just want you to take your left heel, so not the one that's closest to you, but your left foot, and turn it in to the right a little bit as if you were going to cross legs. So when you take that foot toward the other knee, you're going to feel a little bit more happening. Ooh, breathe. That's a precursor to fire log pose, which we haven't done in ages. Good. Straighten that foot again so it's straight out from your knee. Take the arms in T position. Tone your lower belly and slowly lower toward the left side. So your right foot is going to come to the floor all the way. You're still in that figure four-ish. And then just relax your left foot to the floor. So we just went from a figure four to a twist. And just breathe. If that's way too deep for you, you don't like it, just take one knee on top of the other and come into a more traditional twist. Take a nice deep breath, everybody. That's it. Feel your whole body just calming down, just settling down. Now, to come out of this, I don't like to try to bring both legs up at the same time. You really can move into the low back. So that bottom foot, that left foot that's on the floor, I want you to push into that to lift your knees back up. There you go. And then come back to figure four. Cross the knees one on top of the other and bring both knees to your chest. Some of you are going to open up the heels away from each other. I always think of it like a wishbone. Some of you are going to reach down and hold the feet, cow face legs. Woo. So you know you're working hips when hips, thighs when you do this pose. And then release that. Release the knees. Put both feet on the floor. When you're ready, bring your left knee to your chest. Straighten it up to the ceiling. Use your hands to support it. And then point and flex. Point. Hello, hummingbird. Point and flex. And then big circles. That's it. Circle the other way. And then a pretty neutral foot turn, that leg out to the side. So externally rotate. Bend the knee, take your ankle to the top of your knee. Draw the knees closer to chest. And again, I invite you to keep a teeny tiny space behind your lower back, just a little one. Just like with pyramid pose, how tempting it is to bring your head to your knee. It's really tempting here to draw those knees way in to try to get the deepest stretch. But from an alignment standpoint, it really it's nice for the lower back not to be rounded there. And then your right heel heads toward your left knee as if you could stack those legs one on top of the other. Try not to skew the hips when you do that. It doesn't have to go far. Breathe. And then release that so it's straight out from your knee again. Arms go out in cactus pose. Slowly lower your foot toward the floor. And then once you're there, relax the right leg down so that it's not holding in space. Arms are out, you're open through your chest. Excuse me. Nice deep breath. Feel your body settling. And then push off of that right outer foot to lift the knees back to center. Draw the knees back toward chest. Cross one knee over the other. Bring both knees toward your chest. Feel a nice stretch in that hip. And then your choice to separate the heels one away from the other and maybe hold shins or hold feet. Deep breath, everybody. Relax your jaw, soften the belly, soften the shoulders here. And then release back to knees to chest. Undo your knees and let your feet come to the floor. Optionally here, you can take both of your blocks to your outside thighs. I didn't cue that, so they might not be too close. And you let the knees go out to the sides, soles of the feet together. This is a more restorative Baddha Konasana, but I like it especially at the end of class because we're really done working and we want the inner thighs to relax as they stretch open as opposed to having to still work. So the blocks are really nice for just allowing the muscles to soften. And just pause. You can take the arms overhead and just let the fingertips touch so that, a couple of fingers touch so that your arms kind of mimic the legs. Just make sure you're not overarching. Soft breath. And then either stay here because you feel so good. I wouldn't keep the arms there, but if your legs feel awesome and you've got the blocks under them and you want to stay, go ahead and stay there. But otherwise, bring the knees together. And if your blocks were there, just tuck the blocks under your upper thighs and then straighten the legs for Shavasana. The blocks under the upper thighs, I find really, really soothing. It takes all the pressure off the knees. It aligns the back body. It's kind of nice. It might not be nice for you, and if it isn't, don't do it. But otherwise, let the legs be long. The hands are either resting on your belly or they're out to the sides, palms face up. And you're finding your Shavasana, your way to relax. Shavasana is also called corpse pose. And it is meant to be a pose of surrender, but it's surrender more of just the muscles or the body. But it is a surrender of the thoughts, of the emotional turmoil, of whatever it is that keeps drawing your attention away from the body. So we soften down. We feel the soft flow of breath moving in and out of the body. No effort here at all. And notice if thoughts start to come in that you're giving your attention to. And if so, just let them go. Can you soften just a little bit more here? Just breathe. If you have chosen to be in Baddha Konasana, take a moment to bring the knees together and then straighten the legs so that you can just let go of any tension that might have gathered there in Baddha Konasana. And for anyone who is ready to come out of Shavasana, start to wiggle your toes and your fingers. If you want to stay longer, stay longer. You know the beauty of online. Slowly bend your knees and draw your knees toward your chest. Pause there, give yourself a nice little hug. And then rock side to side until the knees roll to one side or the other, and pause there for just a moment in fetal pose. This pose is also called seedling pose, and I always think of it as planting seeds from your practice. And then as you're ready, start to press all the way back up to your seated pose. And bring your hands to your heart. Bow to your own inner goodness, inner wisdom, inner voice. Namaste, everyone.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Thank you all